Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat, and welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan. It's good to be back with y'all. I have some fun today with Retro Tuesday. I've got something fun planned. First, I want to share something. So I celebrate 5 years as a priest this Saturday, which is exciting. My mother sent me an anniversary gift. It screams. Hi, Petonian Raiding Party. Welcome. You come at a great time. Perfectly normal stream over here at Let Us Play. Welcome, Raiders. Mars, thank you for the follow. Yeah, this is my mother sent me this as my anniversary gift for my ordination to go with my other weird instruments. It squeaks. Yep, onomatone. So this is delightfully weird, and I love it, and I am very thankful to my mother for it, and I'm glad I can save you viewers from whatever is going on over on Bree and Junie's. I popped in for a second, and I said sus and bounced. Bree and Junie are both wonderful people. I just don't know what's going on there. But today, I don't know why that didn't trigger earlier. Anyway, welcome, Raiders. We are going to be playing this wonderful game called Magic the Gathering, but this is no ordinary Magic the Gathering. This is Shandalar. This was a adventure game based around Magic, released in like '97, I think. So yeah, this is a throwback and a half. This is old MTG. This doesn't even use the rules we're used to. But wait, it gets better. We're going to go with Apprentice because this game is very difficult. I'm going to go with red. Whoa, this color order is so weird. Standard Magic color order is white, blue, black, red, green in that order. So red, white, black, green, blue makes no sense. I think this is a difficulty thing, but we're going to go with red for the sake of easy. But look at these characters. What is going on? Crab Man. Green is not best. Why is he Crab Man? Why is he not Crab Man? I don't know. What's even going on here? I don't even have words. I think we found our guy with the Groucho Marx mustache. Oh, what's the most ridiculous horn we could give him? No, that'll cover it up. Somehow I think it's better bald, but we're keeping these glasses. Oh yeah, big ol' robe. Is that straight jacket? What have I lurked into? Wonderful stuff, cart boy. Island is the most OP card in Magic. Agreed. So Junie and Bree stream's looking more attractive. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh my goodness. Oh. Yeah, this is our character. We're going to save this as just Groucho. I think we are the wizard Groucho. So now you have to leave. And I'm going to fix this in a moment because this is no, I'm not ready to quit. I want to save. No, that's my deck. How do I do anything? Journal? Oh no. I don't think we're on world record pace. No, we're not. The graphics burn. Yeah, now it's crashing. This is some top quality content here. I swear I got this working one day. Resume game. Okay, here we are. Okay, everything is normal. Everything is fine. Bring back Fives with Mario stream from last week. Oh, was that on P. Tony's channel? I wasn't there for that. So, we have a deck. What do we have? We have an Ornithopter, a Clay Statue, Colossus of Sardia, Clockwork Beast, Black Vice. This deck is not great, but honestly, this is not terrible in this format. I was just giving Heroes of Might and Magic vibes. I think it might have been the same developers. Oh, the Chaos Mario. Yeah. Yeah, that sure happened. 11 minute 19 seconds. Rotida, double R. Well, happy feast day of St. Matthias. Okay, what quest do you want? Take this message west to my brother, the keeper of Elrin Bazaar. He will reward you with a mana link. Okay, that is really good. Did it happen? Are we sure? No. Mana links are our life total. So you see the Ankh here? We start with 10 life at each game. A mana link will increase that, so we are going to absolutely accept this quest. We have 4 days. Where are we going? Oh, also you have food that you need to keep track of. No. No, where's my journal? No, I'm in a fight. I'm in a fight. Panic. If you introduce the other guy's life total before reaching Zeus, you'll probably win. I think it's more than probably. Sure, we'll duel. I think that means they go first. Yep. She chose to draw. Anyway, so yeah, this is an RPG where every encounter is a magic game. It's kind of amazing. Anyway, today's the Feast of St. Matthias, and he's a great example of the way that God is with us both individually and collectively. Obviously walking with Matthias, bringing him to the role of apostle. Okay, you get a Verdure and Enchantress. But also with us collectively as God replaced that role in the College of Apostles for the sake of us all. So I don't feel like putting that on my Hurloon Minotaur, but I will attack with my Hurloon Minotaur. But yeah, there are weird cards, so fair enough. However, this game gets extra weird because this is following like all the old rules. Nope. Cancel. So I could cast a Fire Elemental, which is a 5/4, or an Earth Elemental, which is a 4/5. I think I'm going to go with the 5/4, but I'm going to do that second main. You hope that when you get back, it's even weirder? Oh, it probably will. It probably will. Another aspect of Wolf. +2, -2. That doesn't really help me here. So if you're thinking about trying to learn magic, I do not recommend this. Not only is this following the old rules, it has such a weird pool that it's like. A second Verduran Enchantress. Yeah, Arena's actually pretty good at teaching magic. Oh, a giant strength. Yes, I'll put that on my Hurling Minotaur. That seems fine. We won! Yay! Okay, so this is really key. So we can either take these cards. This was not made by the same people as HOM 3. It's made by Microprose, creator of Civilization, XCOM, Rollercoaster Tycoon, Master of Orion, Piratist, etc. Oh, okay, interesting. That also tracks for the feels. But you'll notice, so we can either take these cards, which none of which are red. Our deck is red. We can branch into a second color, but we don't have the mana for it. But down here, there's the Dungeon Clue that has a Mox Jet, a Mox Ruby, and Mind Twist. We're going to take the Dungeon Clue because these are really good cards. Did she just give us a Mox Pearl? I'm confused. No! Oh, this is why it looks like Civilization 1/2. Fine, we will duel this mage that came out of nowhere. Was just like, huzzah! I will play first. Oh, also, the rules... Oh, I just start the next game with a Mox Pearl. Okay. Raid, but late. Hey, TC, good to see you. Looks like you may go Boros. I may. This is actually so old, I don't think there's even black card or gold cards in it. Also looks like Alpha Centauri. Yeah. Isn't that how Magic usually works? Some rando yells Huzzah, and then you get cards? No, they've kind of banned yelling Huzzah and jumping on top of other players at tournaments, but you know. That's how drafts start. Now that's accurate. Target player gains X life. Wait a minute. They just time walked me. You sure tackling people is illegal? Can I try? You know what? You go ahead and do that at GothCon. I think you tackle Map Hack. Well, this is awkward. Yes, I want to regenerate, please. Thank you. Goblin Rock Sled is kind of really terrible in my deck because it can't attack unless the opposing player has mountains. Will you stop gaining random life? Oh, I should have cast this pre-combat on the Elvish Archer. I wasn't paying attention. get an extra pack if you catch all of them. Well, that would track at magic events, because Slayers are notoriously uncoordinated. Hey, Step Zero, thank you for gifting tier 1 gift sub to Get Punned. If you enjoy those emotes, Get Punned. Thank you very much, Step Zero. Mishra's Workshop is amazing. We're going for that. Balance is also a good card, but... No! How do I get into town? You know what? I'm gonna pay you money. Just go away. There we go. Oh, that's right. I was like, I should get that Mox in there. Ayoo! Nana Kit has redeemed a father joke. Where am I even supposed to be headed? I think to that place. Florin Bazaar. The keeper is pleased to receive his brother's letter. Yes! Anyway, I got a new side gig working at a recycling plant, but, you know, I'm really not loving it. It's just so depressing. Trade a white amulet for any fast effect. Ooh. Lightning bolt. Yes. Lightning bolt. Go in the deck. And probably... It's soda pressing. Recycling. It's a recycling joke. I'm going to take the Goblin Rock Sled out, because it's kind of terrible. Conjurer's Will. Risk 1 black amulet to adjust your deck outdoors. Ooh. Yeah, no, leave me alone. No. Lightning Bolt OP. No, it's just one mana. It's part of the, there was a cycle. White gained you 3 life, black gained you 3 mana, red did 3 damage, green gave +3/+3, and blue drew 3 cards. These things are not of equal footing. You know, I will duel you. So also I don't know if I mentioned this, the Mulligan rules. You either have to have all land or no land in your hand in order to mulligan. And then your opponent gets to a mulligan if they feel like it. What's this ante thing? Oh, okay, ante is a wow, what a weird card. Back in the day, before 4th edition, I think, when you did a duel with someone, you had to ante a card. It was a random card out of your deck. And whoever won got to keep the ante. There are then cards which affect that. They're printed mostly in Arabian Nights. But yeah, it was a bit of a mistake. Because it turns out it feels bad to lose. Oh no, I didn't attack! I skipped through combat. Okay. That's a lot to do just for an Ornithopter. Early Magic was weird. Wait until we start talking about batching instead of the stack. I don't want to put an immolation on my Her Jackal. That seems like a bad idea. Oh, El Spiro Gigante. I hate how I have to do this. So I'm going to put this to make it a 4/2 and then hit it with Lightning Bolt. This is before anything was a keyword, except for trample, I think. And first strike and trample existed. But yeah, reach didn't come about until Mirrodin, actually, as a keyword. Why did I have to buff that creature? Because what I was doing is I was actually the buff gave it +2, -2, so it made it weaker in its defense, so that I could hit it that way. This Herd Jackal's gonna go all the way. No, it's not. Cannot be blocked except by walls or creatures with flying. That is so rude. I'm not going to block. Fire breathing. This might just be the thing that gets us there. Yeah, this is old enough that the Foglio art is very common. Yeah, I think I just have to activate this 3 times and hope they don't have a buff. Because if they have a buff, I'm just dead. Where's Lord of Atlantis in another deck? This severely honks. Did you hear it happened to them recently? They went to a MagicCon, all their stuff stolen before it opened. Oh no, that's awful. That's awful. I'm sorry to hear that. They deserve better. The Foglios are fun artists. I like their Magic cards a lot. I'd love to have. I wanted to make a Magic like a commander deck with nothing but Foglio art, but there's just not enough. Yeah, this is really unfortunate because if I attack, they block, and this has first strike, so I'll just kill my Herd Jackal. Nothing has haste, and yeah, no, I'm just dead. Concede. Yes, I'm sure. We lost our giant strength. What quest do you have? Take this message east to my brother, the keeper of Andor's sanctum. He will reward you with a green amulet. Okay, Andor's... You have 4 days. Tanos' wand? No, that's not the card I'm thinking of. What is this giant skull thing? Oh no! Oh no, this is a dungeon. So this is where you get all the really good cards. But there's also powerful enemies, and if your life total is consistent throughout it. So like if you take a bunch of damage in one fight, you'll start the next one at whatever you were at. But if you can get the treasure chests, like the one there... You've encountered a Hydra! Just don't take damage, 5-head. Of course. Is Orcish Oriflamme... No, of course it's not equal. The text, the Hydra did not mulligan, is hilarious for some reason. Oh, that means they must have only had land in their hand. During each player's upkeep, Power Surge deals damage to that player, an amount of damage equal to the number of untapped lands he or she controls. Oh. And here's the thing, I can't just tap down my mountains in response and be like, oh, look, you can't hurt me because mana burn is a thing. So if I don't use my mana, I get hurt. Well, I'm taking 3 here. Go, Hill Giants. 3/3 for 4. No! Ah! Another wall of fire. Okay. Fortunately, I can just make this really buff and use up all my mana so the other thing can't do any damage to me. As I look at this, I feel it could be a really fun modern game. Use newer sets or even get custom ones, update the UI a bit. Fun fact, what do you mean you're doing this directly to my face? There are, in fact, mod patches that go up as far as... oh, shoot, what was that? The second Innistrad set. Eldritch Moon. So, like, people have revamped this to include planeswalkers and everything. You know, I am going to put Eternal Warrior on my Earth Elemental here, just give it vigilance. Of course, if they have another burn spell, I'm just done. I'm dead. And that just kicks us out of the dungeon, and the dungeon disappears forever. And so the things that were in there are no longer available to us. No, run away, run away, run away, run away, run away. No, 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 that's okay. No, 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 no. Expected it would be hard to implement a little dungeon crawling single player mode in Arena. Yeah, but that would require them to take a vested interest in Arena and, like, do things to make it work. If you hike across flat land, does that make you a planeswalker? Honestly, another Hurloon Minotaur seems good. Hello? Yes, I would like. How? Oh, wow, I have to hit Y. I'm so tired of these heckin' snakes all up on this heckin' plane. What's Fissure? Bury target creature or land. Honestly? Honestly, seems pretty good. Joe, no, leave me alone. Leave me alone. No. Oh, I happen upon a... What card do you seek? I don't know. Probably not a kobold. They're all terrible. Honestly, Goblin Hero seems fine. What kind of... Can I get another lightning bolt? You want one amulet? Sure. Okay, so we can only have 3 of a particular card in our deck in this game. And I found a fast bond? Did someone say goblin? Just casually find a fast bond on the ground. Oh. Man of War Elves, I can't beat that. Maybe I should play Black Vice. And next turn. Not going to attack into a first striker here. Giant strength. It's really kind of 6 of one, half dozen of another, but I'm going to instead just use it on this. Hey, GameX, I'm doing well. We're playing some old school Magic here. I think we just have them because we can pump this 3 times. Do, do, do. I think I'm actually going to take these because strip mine. And I got an amulet. Nope, nope. That's nice. 2 more lightning bolts, please. Put a strip mine in there. Cool. How do I save the game? Wizard stats. Okay, so these are the big 5 bad wizards, 1 for each color, that we need to defeat. But seriously, how do I save? Quick, someone help me Google how to save in Shandalar. I will play first. Shift S? Who would have ever guessed that? Oh, look at this. We can just... Turns out... Ooh. Berserk. No! 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 Okay, answer a riddle. Which of these has a power of 1? Wall of Brambles, Island Fish Gisconius, Crimson Manticore, Clockwork Avian, Shannon Dryads. I think it's Shannon Dryads. Booyah! I'm correct. Yay, we got... Oh, he'll give us a colorless card. You know it's colorless? Land. No, I need... Oh, no, I have 2 green amulets. I could get a Mishra's Factory. That might be... That might be good to get. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, my dude. Elvish Magi has been menacing. Reward you with colorless card. I think we can do better. You can only have 1 active quest at a time. South to Windlass. Saved finally. Okay. What's your quest? I will reward you with any creature. Defeat a warlock. Sure, we'll accept that. Yeah, I have a bunch of black cards. I don't care. You happen upon a... What card do you seek? What? Honestly, Disintegrate seems good. Want an amulet? Yeah, I'll give you an amulet for Disintegrate. What I really would like, actually, is more mana. We only have 15 in this deck, which isn't terrible, but take out this Colossus of Sardia. How are you even running this thing? What are you talking about? Are you talking about the lack of land, or are you talking about how am I running this on a modern PC? Because if it's that, literally Wizards themselves put out a video of like, hey, here's how to play this game. No land for you. Oh, I can just bolt them. Ooh, Tetravis. Look at that size difference in the cards in order to make Tetravis's text fit. This is ridiculous. You have defeated the slimy druid. Actually, I wouldn't mind Candelabros. We're going to take this for the Tetravis. You'll get +1 lives in the next duel. I can barely read that. I don't think you can read that, chat. Wait, you might be a warlock. Yes, you're a warlock. Nothing personal, dude, but the dude said we need to punch you. Yeah, there was text. It was black. There are certain things of this game that I don't think have translated well into a modern PC, but you know. Oh, this is gonna be so easy if they don't do anything. Drain life. I don't want to put any of these on my Ornithopter. We cannot read. Darn educational system. Hippie pee. But what if immolated? Okay, if we draw a land, we're cooking. Or they could just drain us directly. Oh, yeah, we cooking. El Hajjaj. Gain 1 life for each 1 damage El Hajjaj deals, but no more than toughness of a creature of the life total. Okay. So I think I should actually disintegrate the Frozen Shade. Nope, nope. Oh, no, it just tapped all my mana that way. And there is no untap, by the way, in this. Yes, I know X is 2. I'd like X to be all of it. Because I want to use up my mana. Thanos' wand? Yeah, gain your 1 life. I thought the game crashed there for a moment, I'm not gonna lie. Let's take the dungeon clue. Oh, it moved. It does come back. Okay. I thought it was gone forever. I am rewarded with I get any creature. Yeah, it looks like it crashed. Yeah, well, the game looks like that in general. I mean, ooh, ball lightning. That is a great mono red card. Take Clockwork Beast out. I want to keep this at about 40 cards. Okay, Ivory Cup. A Plains! What do you have for me? Defeat a Vampire Lord. Return with any land. I don't know if I'm up for a vampire. I need to buy some food. I'm running low. Dingus Egg! I didn't know they put chat in here. A Lord of Fate. I don't know what that is, but if it's 3 white amulets, that's a lot, but that sounds terrifying. So what you have to do in this game is there are 5 evil wizards, and you have to find their lairs and defeat them. Take this message south, keep herself inspired. Yeah, sure. We can be a courier. Ghost ship. I happened upon a... It was there for a split second. I have no idea what I got. Okay, any enchantment. Weovigs. I don't think there's anything I really want there. I will reward you with any enchantment. We're not really an enchantment-based deck. And red enchantments are not great. Yeah, we need to find these 5 wizard towers. I don't just want amulets. I know you have better stuff out there. Answer a riddle. 1 red and 0 colorless to cast. Why, that's fire breathing. Is this what you think clerics look like, game? I'm offended. As a cleric, I do not have a tundra cut. Oh no, that's a good card. Ah, the good old days when Savannah Lions was a rare. Problem is fire breathing. What's banding? Banding is like deciding. Everyone's like, oh, banding's so hard. And banding does get difficult, especially when you start throwing in flying. But for the most part, banding is basically blocking in reverse. So normally whoever's attacking gets to decide how damage is distributed, whereas whoever has banding, whether they're attacking or blocking, gets to decide. Rude. But if that's all they're doing with their turn... Wait, why did they do that? The Meekstone would have stopped me from untapping. Ooh, Wheel of Fortune. Yes, please. No artifacts allowed. Life loss carries over. Don't look a gift mistake in the mouth. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Newsflash. Blue Wizardess sends a seer to attack Nevermore Hall. Okay. So I get all of these if I attack this Drakkar dragon. I think it's worth it to try for a Wheel of Fortune. Then we have to figure out where that tower is that the Blue Wizard is doing obnoxious things to. can't see it, but they have this card here. Gem Bazaar. That sound effect plays anytime that gets played. Oh man, it was arena stuff before arena. Sound effect. I love it. You're going to bolt my ornithopter. It's very rude. Depending on what I draw here, I might just... If I could get a land like that, I can disintegrate them for 3 and then lightning bolt them for 3 the next turn. So since this is a sorcery, I will do this now. Can't believe that Magic went from having Plato Aristotle quotes to having a bunch of random stuff. I mean, old Magic, yeah. There were Shakespeare quotes. There were even Bible quotes on certain cards. Do I have any goblins to make this worth it right now? I don't think so, because it doesn't buff itself. But Wheel of Fortune is good. It's a great show to watch when you're homesick. Okay, so we're looking for Nevermore Hall. It's way over there, so due west, basically. Bennett quotes. Oh no, you're teaching Nanakit Bennett quotes. Oh, it's the fungus master. I'll answer your riddle. Which of these has toughness of 1? It's El Hajjaj. Oh, hey, there's the dungeon that had... Let's fight this merfolk. I like that the quiz... Or the riddle is basically just like, what's your magic knowledge? They're not riddles, they're trivia. Yeah, exactly. Best kind of riddle. What? No, I want to activate fire breathing. I could Wheel of Fortune here, or I could just win. Bayou? Bayou? Winning is overrated. No, not when it takes your cards away. I'm going to take this for the Bayou. Great. Found a swamp. Black amulet for colorless cards. Why is it? This is weirdly laid out. Are we going to transition to a green-black deck? No, but we might transition to red-green-black, or... What I'm looking for is... Honestly, Ankh of Mishra could be pretty good. That's a pretty punishing card. I don't know why this art exists for Ankh of Mishra, because it's literally meant to be like an Ankh you hold in your hand. It's a symbol of his role as leader of the Philaji people. Oh, no. With old school dual lands like that, that's nothing. Like 5-color decks are easy in this. With 2-color lands like that come in untapped and Black Lotus and your Mox, easy. Winter Orb's pretty good, but could backfire. Evan Ural's Disc is pretty good. Manifold's not bad. I wouldn't mind, honestly, another Black Vice. No, he wants 2 amulets for it. That jerk. I don't think we're going to get anything. Pride, something, something, fall, something, something. Okay, how far are we now? Oh, we've barely made it any of the distance to get there. Undead Knight? Sure, we'll take this quest. You ready for a nap hack? Is that it? You have no idea how this amulet system works? That's okay. The game doesn't either. Basically how it works is that it's a secondary currency, because you have your money, you have your gold, but then you have these amulets, and you can use them to trade for cards, or to activate abilities of artifacts that you get that make you do things on the map. Advice food. No, get away from me! Library of Leng. She taps Nevermore Hall. Yes, there are still 5 evil wizards. I'm aware. No, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Fine, I will duel you. Well, we're not doing anything for like the first turn. Do you get more amulets per dollar when you buy a larger pack of them? Yeah, it's the pay-to-win currency. You know, honestly, Magic has always been ahead of its time. Whenever a forest becomes tapped, gain a life. Well, guess what, buddy? I don't care. Well, we Wheel of Fortune now. Got rid of 2 of their unstable mutations, so that's pretty good, actually. Another life tap. Buddy, I have some bad news for you. Is this do again? Oh, it just turns into... He turned my Mishra thing into a mountain. I don't know why he didn't turn into, like, an island or something. At least cut me out a color, but, you know. Ancestral Recall. Yes. Bone Flute. Don't think that's a bone flute. This is a bone flute. Also, the really confusing things on automotones is down is higher pitch, whereas up is lower pitch. It's going to take me some getting used to in playing it. I don't want to lose this lightning bolt. Oh, yeah, we're taking a mulligan. Frost Orb? No, we don't have Winter Orb. We decided to not get one earlier. The Power 9, I think, is what you're thinking of. And no, the Power 9 are, in fact, collectible in this game. You can have multiple of them. Ooh, Scrubland. No, there is no format that lets you have multiple Power 9. They are, if you play Vintage or Legacy or whichever one allows them, I forget which one it is, you are only allowed one of each. Okay, so we have to go back to Mandrake Village, which is one of these. That's just for a blue amulet. Let's just keep going. We're much closer to the other town that's been captured by the evil blue wizardess. Yep, Black Lotus sold for a stupid amount. Yeah, 4 Time Walked, 4 Black Lotus, 4 Moxen, 4 Ancestral. Ooh, 200 gold. I can buy an amulet of any color I want, but I'm pretty low on gold, actually. I'm gonna save there, because you see this blue orb around this town? That is the sign of the evil wizardess having taken over. We have to defeat her minion to free it. Let's do it. My auntie... What? These aunties are not alike. Oh, she's only at 4 life. But she starts with a Zephyr Falcon? And she's giving an unstable mutation? This is ridiculous. We win. This image. This image for freeing the town. Yeah, no, I want to... There we go. Trade a black amulet for any fast effect. I don't think we really need another... Can't have another lightning bolt right now. Nothing has flash yet. There are interrupts. Do I hate Red Elemental Blast? It's pretty limited. We're gonna mosey back to Mardrake Village to return that quest. Ah, I did not want to go here. If you combine Raised Dead with Ball Lightning, you already the Ball Lightning you already have. You can do 6 damage several turns in a row. Well, yeah, but that requires for Black Amulet, I will reveal the deck of any black creature. No. I find a regrowth instead. Where am I trying? Ah, I got stuck. Sure. What was the first MTG video game? I think this was the first MTG video game. Like, this was in some ways a prototype for Magic Online. It's a good amount of walking. Okay. So I think I'm going to strip mine their island. And I think I'm going to bolt the Hypnotic Spectre. Oh, shoot. I just clicked through combat. Ah! This UI. Control magic. This is old school magic. I think it's best if I just put down a Bird Maiden and I try to go over their head at this point. Will you quit taking control of everything? I will block with this Mons Goblin. It's not doing anything else. Why does that have to have flying? I think I'm just dead. Because even if I animate my factory... Yeah, I'm just dead. Ugh. No, my dwarven warriors. Why can black cards resurrect the creatures but not the player? Because that wouldn't be fun. Okay, let's look at this map. Why don't we try going north towards the Red Castle? Plus, you know, I think the idea is that like the players are the characters and are casting the spells. So how are you supposed to cast a spell if you're dead? Mishra's Factory into Mana Vault. I'm doing a heckin' concern right now, is all I'm gonna say. Simple, play black. Hercule's Recall. What? Oh, you're bouncing my black Vice. I was like, what? I was very confused as to what they were trying to bounce. It's okay, I'll just replay my black Vice. Vice rack combo. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm aiming for. Well, it's inefficient, but okay. You're putting all of that on the stack, eh? Well, not the stack, the batch. Yes, tell me where this Ancestral Recall is. I would love to branch out into blue. One thing you've learned from Arena is it's important to always have destroy artifacts and enchantments. Yeah, it's a pretty useful thing to have in your back pocket these days. Wow, this hand is terrible. And I can't do anything about it. I would mulligan this hand in an instant in a real game. But, you know, gotta follow the old rules. This is before the 6th edition rules. That's when things really got crazy. However, my Black Vice just might get there. 3-tier enchantment healing. Nice. I still have vague memories of when I hopped on to fight him on his own stream when I was sick. I honestly don't remember much of it because I was sick in bed with a fever, and I feel bad about that, but it sounds like it was funny. Ah, yes, Harmonic Prodigy. It's a good card. It's good when I was able to make multiple of them. Because that deck is a singleton deck. There's only one of each. Yeah, we'll take a Dark Ritual. I happen upon up. One amulet of each color. Nice. Haha, multiplication go burn. Ooh, Mana Link. Take this message east to Keeper of Celestine Spire. Hey, we've been there. Get a Mana Link. Absolutely. Map. Okay, we're headed the right way. Then we might retry that dungeon. Black Amulet for an enchantment. Again, I just don't know. Like, Blood Moon could be good, but it's not super powerful in this, because very rarely do opponents run non-basic lands. So it really would just hurt me. Oh yeah, I know that card you're talking about. Agagalnir. Well. Redundant hard locks. Yeah, like your mono white deck, Gale. Gale has this mono white deck that is just a prison deck that just locks you out from playing. It's ridiculous and amazing. Strip out for now. Hey, Squirrel! Thank you for the tier 1 gift sub to Mapack. Mapack, give Squirrel a big ol' thank you. Hope you enjoyed those emos. We got some fun ones in there. I don't have enough mana to disintegrate this. So maybe I just play out the Bird Maiden for this turn. And then next turn I can disintegrate the Irrigrators. Life is a resource. I would argue that it's not just the last one you need. Okay, so I still can't... Wait, this deck's 3 colors? Wow. Man, why is Disintegrate a sorcery? Present to you the argument for white decks. Swoliel would play mono white. I think I'm going to Wheel of Fortune. And why did that tap like that? I actually wanted to be able to hold up a mountain. So that I could bolt. You know what, Ornithopter? Get under the bus. You like decks of all colors except red. That's not true. You like red. There are decks of yours that have red, Gale. There we go. Make him have it. Spidro Gigante? That's a problem. Just get rid of that. Your attempt to make an Oops All Spiders deck take advantage of Blake's arachnophobia. Oh, that's unfair. That's actually depending on how you read that. So I'm a judge for Magic. That's how much of a nerd I am. I am trained to judge like official events. And there's a section in the rules regarding sportsmanship. And so intentionally doing something to antagonize your opponent could be interpreted in that light. Of course I am. Yeah. No, Spirit Link. No, that I can't. They're locking me out. Yeah, I know that gains you life. Have I ever given a blessing at one of these events? No. No, I've not. I can't even attack here because if I do any damage, they just gain it back. Here's our win condition. Hope they black feist themselves. Wait. No, they're just gonna hurricane me to dirt. Jerk. Does MTG have official rule about showering and personal hygiene like Yu-Gi-Oh? No, it does not. Amazingly. Time to do an MTG tourney at GovCon 24. I'd be more than happy to do that. I was actually planning on just bringing my cube. I'll actually be bringing my cube to Doxicon this year. Hey, Squirrel, thank you for the 100 bits. Just doing your monthly point grinds. Nice. The red 8 goes on black 9. Not so much, but sure. Let's duel this Aga Gulnir. Gale has redeemed a father joke. You know, I was thinking recently, why can't we hear dog whistles? And then I thought about it. Dogs can't whistle. No! Lightning Bolt. Okay, this is actually a pretty sick hand to Wheel of Fortune away. I'm not going to strip that quite yet, because it's a sick Hill Giant art. I've never seen that. I don't know what color this deck is supposed to be in its main... I think it's black. So I'm going to wait to get this Hill Giant out, I think. Recently saw a TV out on the side of the road with signs that free Staker's volume knob is stuck. Wow, that's an offer I can't turn down. Step 0! Because I wasn't suffering enough. Oh, I should have. Okay. Wheel of Pain, turn, turn, turn. Teach me the lesson that I should unlearn. Oh, dear. Hype train, you say? Wow, Squirrels. Thank you for the generosity. Thank you for the 2,000 bits. My goodness, thank you. Well, mac and cheese candy cane. I have not had this, and I've been terrified of it. I cannot stress enough that this thing really exists. And honestly, after the sour cream and onion one, which was basically just like licking a rotten onion, how bad can this one be? You know, it's got to be better than the fried chicken one or the pizza that just tasted like rotten oregano. Yeah, Squirrel, if you want me to suffer with a particular candy, you can pick one, but you don't have to. Anonymous, thank you for the tier 1 gift sub. Who'd that go to? Historical Mustache. What a great name. I'm scared because it doesn't smell like anything, unlike the other ones. The pin bit thing broke the hype train. Couldn't see it. It had to refresh. That's fair. This tastes like cheese powder. It's like if you took a packet of not just like mac and cheese, but like instant mac and cheese, like the microwavable stuff, and coated it in sugar. Oh, that's noxious. Oh. Oh, the aftertaste is so terrible. Yeah, it could have been worse. It's not the worst I've had from that company, but it's still pretty darn bad. Ugh. Blah. Choose blockers. Yeah, I'll let you gain 2 life. Giant growth? What do you mean they cheated? Gonna strip their swamp. And we're gonna wheel. I know that wasn't... Okay. It's not terrible. Jade Monolith. Redirect all damage from any creature to yourself. Okay. Ugh. Squirrelich has cheered 600 bits and subs and bits, and here we go. Where bits again? Yeah, do you want me to spin the wheel of pain again, Squirrel, for you, or do you just want to pick one? I have the super sour candies. Like, these are physically painful. Oh, from Yuha? Yeah, it's the exact same kind as Yuha. I got the idea from him on that particular brand. They are very sour. I'm gonna try this again. No, still terrible. Would you be able to answer the question above, though? Which question? Lots of things happening in chat. Bits and subs here go where again? Oh, okay, that one. I thought that was just a joke with like just making a hype train. Yeah, so all the bits and subs go directly to Busted Halo, which is the ministry I work for. So it's it stays in house, and it specifically is just like there to bolster the ministry, particularly helping fund this ministry. So whenever I buy games or tech parts or anything, you know, your bits and subs are helping directly support this mission and ministry in sort of covering those costs. So, you know, it does not go to me personally. It's not doesn't go for fun, and it's not like it goes off into the ether. It stays at Busted Halo for our mission and ministry. What is the brute again? The brute's +1/+0 and regenerate? Sure, I may as well put that on this Minotaur. Have I been able to... Yeah, I regularly have been getting Twitch payouts since I have been able to get them. It's not like every month, but, you know, I do reach that threshold every... Well, it's $50, I think, is the minimum threshold. So I get a nice little email saying, oh, you got a payout. But again, like all that money just immediately goes directly into Busted Halo. It's all nonprofit. It was a surprisingly complicated thing to get Twitch to understand and set up, but I feel like this is another giant growth bait, so I'm not going to go for it. I will immolate that Savannah Lions. Sengir Vampire? I'll tell you what, this deck is rapidly getting out of hand. SiriusXM. There's the radio show on SiriusXM. It's a website. Articles. I'll have an article published. I think it's scheduled for June now. Had a balance of 1,300 bits and wanted to move that, so have another 100. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for your generosity, Squirrel. Anyway, my next article goes up. I just finished it this week with the editing, but it doesn't go up until sometime in June, I think. But it's around the question of limbo, which is really fascinating to actually like research and go deeper on and learn a lot I didn't know. Don't think it's worth activating Mishra's Factory here. The secret is pushing your knees forward so you can go lower. Yes. Yes, that kind of limbo. Squirrel is just... Squirrel, you redeemed a timeout. You just want to take a little break? Is that it? I totally get that and support it. Choo-choo, I need to work. Mods, if you could go ahead, give Squirrel a nice, peaceful little time in the corner. Thank you. And thank you again, Squirrel, for your generosity. Feels weird timing you out just after that, but... Now I think I activate the assembly worker. Hello? There we go. You wouldn't ban a mod, would you? Banning a mod is funny, but it's difficult because then it removes their mod status. And you have to reinstate them. Brayherd Lord has redeemed a father joke. Please. Please, my fire breathing is very sick. Oh, somehow my factory didn't get activated there. Oh well. Still doing enough damage to win. Anyway, why was the Weeping Willow so sad? They watched a sappy movie. I love how this art is pixelated. So next I get... Wow, that's really useless for me. Oh, no, don't go in yet. Let's save. Blue Wizardess sends a Merfolk Shaman to attack Unicorn Sanctum. Okay, where's that? Unicorn Sanctum. Well, we're headed there next, kids. Which of these costs 1 white and 1 colorless to cast? Fortified Area, Prismatic Dragon, Crusade, Armored, Amru, Kithkin, Disenchant. Disenchant. Okay, so I start the next battle with a clay statue. Or a Hurloon Minotaur now. Mox Ruby! Let's go! Extra lives. Counter Attacker. Guess I will play first. Not bad, starting with Ball Lightning in play. Oh, they ramping. Okay. Do you want to fireball that? That's fine. What does play this as a mana source mean? Well, you have to ask me the tough questions. Okay, so timing in this game worked differently, in this edition of Magic worked differently, whereas now we have the stack and you can put instants on top of each other. Instants would all go off at the same time in a batch, but an interrupt or a mana source would go off first. So the fact that you can activate, say, this as a mana source means you can activate it at any time, even if there's the batch, the spell chain, as they called it. I should put Eternal Warrior on the Hurloon there. Oh well. Okay, fine. Use your fissure that randomly has a Plato quote on it. Okay, blight my land. Destroy a different land. It's okay. As long as we can untap, we can lightning bolt them. Like that. Mind twist. Okay, so there's one more Mox hanging out in this dungeon somewhere. Because there's the black one as well. So I'm guessing it's probably down this way. So why don't we go ahead... get some of these dice, because these are the bonus effects. Okay, so I start with a Black Vice in play. That's pretty good. feeling these giants are weaker. Or troll shaman. Yeah. Because it's only 8 health. I want to keep this hand, but I can't. Because if I keep that hand, there's no mana. Oh, there's still basically no mana. That honks. But this Black Vice might just take us all the way. Two white and 0 colorless. So white, white. I think it's Crusade. Yep. That card is now banned in every format. Bird Maiden. Gonna guess the Hydra is weaker than the other thing, so, you know. Why is Crusade banned? Because it's culturally inappropriate. On Yulet. These feature surprisingly heavily at the beginning of the Brothers' War novel. I think I may as well put the Brute on the Iron Maiden. Or Iron Maiden, Bird Maiden. Okay. Soulmint. Why didn't you play that before? Whatever. Gonna play a little risky here. Just do these 2 lightning bolts directly to their face. I'm not gonna, kill this Onulet, because that'll gain them life. Mana Flare? That could actually be a problem. Oh, heck. Wait, that's what you're doing it to? Really? You could do it... Oh, you're splitting it with my face. Yes, hello, I would like to... regenerate this clay statue. Okay, it did it automatically somehow. Hey, Breedy Bard, welcome. And Junie, hello. Breedy and Junie, hello. Welcome, Raiders. Hoy, everybody, as they say. And Doodle Raid. Oh, I'm so sorry. Moobot, it's okay. She's cool. Doodle Raids are cool, Junie, I promise. Moobot just has no temper sometimes. Welcome, Raiders. Welcome. We are playing some old school Magic with playing some Shandalar. And for those of you who don't know, Doodle Raid, yeah, that Doodle Raid's cool. Chat, go ahead. Welcome our Raiders. Anyway, I'm Father Evan. I'm a priest at New York City for the Paulist Fathers. I work at Busted Halo and do streaming as part of it. So, and we get to play weird things like this. So good to have y'all here. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune seems good. Oh yes, thank you for the shout out to Brady Bard. Also give a shout out to Junie. So good to see you, Bree. Thank you for the raid. You take care. Okay, there's another Mox, but it's probably over here, and I'm at like 3 health, so I'm just leaving. It's the black one anyway, so I don't care as much. So, good to see you, Happy Cynic. Where are we headed anyway? Right, we're headed to Unicorn Sanctum because the Blue Wizardess was like, I'm evil. That's exactly what they sound like. No! Winged Stallion, why are you in my way? Jam Leisure, well, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channel. I was watching, I came in briefly, Junie and Bree, on your stream. You're talking about, like, someone cutting hands off, and it was... That's when I dropped in and just said sus and left. So sorry. No, don't be sorry. It was funny. It's all good. It looked like the two of you were having a good time. I just found it funny walking in on the line. Oh yeah, he like cuts off hands and collects them. Ooh, Howling Mine. Yes, please. Draw cards for me, please. I said, draw cards for me, please. JoJo character. Ah. I have heard of JoJo. And I tried to keep it that way. Segovian Leviathan. That thing's big. But you know what else does 3 damage? Lightning Bolt. Some crazy art. Okay. Let's cast Immolation on that. And then let's punch you with some Minotaurs. Do, do, do. Yeah, we'll take these cards, I guess. And an amulet. What's my deck at? 39. I must have lost something. But that's okay. We have a Mox Ruby. Let's save, and now let's work our way west. What quest do you have? Green amulet? Yeah. Ooh, Wrath of God. That's a good card. What's this egg? I want to go inside the egg. Oh, that's a town. I thought it was a dungeon or something. Well. Oh, green amulet for green cards. Well, actually, you know what? Taiga. Going to lurk so I can get lunch. All right. Thanks. Thank you for the raid. Good to see ya. Dang it. I don't have 3 green amulets. That would have been perfect. Because there's a monkey. Release. Yes, this would be really good to have. Thank you. So that's one of the artifacts where we can use our amulets on the world map, and this one's really good because it makes us go vroom. Oh no, the shippers have invaded. Wait. Map hack, it says you're a raider. It says you were there. Map hack. Are you confessing something to chat right now? I was getting insider info. Good save, good save. Let's buy some food. We're running a little low. The evil blue wizardess taps Unicorn Sanctum. She needs 2 more mana to taps to cast the spell of Dominion. So this whole taps it. This is like us tapping the land. And that's how you get the mana links. It's like you get the power of the cities. Mana link. Message south to Nevermore Hall. Absolutely, I will. Oh, Yoshi Soldier's good, but I don't have a lot of gold left. Okay, so down to Nevermore Hall, and then we'll go back to Unicorn Sanctum. What do I seek? I seek lots of things. Three amulets. What color? I don't know, but... Great. $13, $14, $15, $16, $17, $18, $19. So we could get a couple just like regular mountains, I think. Take it down to that. Because I want to flood. Oh, wrong thing. Oops. Nevermore Halls. This way. There it is. Ah, nope. Leave me alone. No, 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 no. That's okay. Nope, nope, nope. You know what? I'm going to pay you a lot of money to leave me alone because I want this mana link. Because starting at 13 life is pretty good. I'm gonna pay you $100 to go the other way. Yeah, exactly. It's a great way to live your life. I was gonna say, wow, this is terrible, Kobold Overlord, and then I saw the Mana Crypt. We're gonna duel this creature because Mana Crypt. I should have played Mishra's Factory first, but eh. Wall of water! Wall of not caring, because I'm really not doing like a creature-based strategy at this point. Take that Mana Crypt. Mana Crypt immediately goes in. I'm gonna take a mountain out. I'm looking for, I think it's Curd Ape? It's some sort of monkey. Not being a creature-based stat works well when the opponent's literally only summons 0-power creatures. Yeah! Oh no, I must duel with the whim. I wasn't paying attention. I was reading chat. A whim away, a whim away, a whim away. After this battle, we're going to have to call it for the day. I'll look at the time and go, oh, right. I can't just sit here playing this all day. Okay, so I just won't tap my Mishra's Factory too much. I could, but then, you know, I wouldn't be able to go to an important meeting. Meeting versus gameplay. Choices, choices. Yeah, I know. Gainful employment is hard. I like my coworkers. I like working with them. I don't want to miss a meeting of this kind. We actually have very good meetings here at Busatalo, I will admit. Oh, Korma spell. I have stories about that, but oh well. Sometimes we'll spend 20 minutes talking about where people want to go to lunch at the tail end of a meeting. Oh, those are the worst. I do. Yeah, that's bad. No, we are very good at keeping on track and efficient and focused and useful. So, good times. So this was, wow, this was our first look at Magic the Gathering Shandalar. This is some old school Magic. I'm having fun with this. This is bringing me back to like when I first played Magic as a kid. So we're gonna keep playing this. Not next week because I'm out of town next week for Paula's retreat, but the week after, we're gonna keep going. Just don't want someone just making. Yeah, you should have just stood up and been like, "This is where we're going." But yeah, so thank you so much to everyone for tuning in to let us play. I've been your host, Father Evan. Thank you to everyone for liking, following, subscribing, giving bits, rating, all that good jazz. Thank you to everyone. That makes the old ladies mad at you. Well, decisions, I suppose. But yeah, join us again on Thursday for more Chance of Sonar at the usual time. And then next week, like I said, no stream, sadly. I may do a bonus stream on Friday next week, depending on how I'm feeling after the retreat, just for fun. But we'll be back the week after that with more Magic the Gathering Shandalar and more Chance of Sonar and more Knights of the Old Republic. So thank you so much to everyone for tuning in. And let me see who's live to raid. I feel like with P. Tony, Junie, and Bree raiding me, I don't know who else is out there. You know what? Let's go raid late to the game. I feel like we haven't raided him in a while. He's playing Xenoblade Chronicles. Junie and you are almost done with Chance. Moving on to Baba Is You. Nice. Baba Is You is like one of the first games I played on stream. But yeah, we're having a good time. I got to the third area in Chance, so I don't know how much. Yeah, it breaks your brain. That's fair. Breaks mine too. But anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I hope you have a great rest of your day and a great week. Take care and God bless.